They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Seatin here, hello and welcome. So one question I've been getting like a ton, I've been spammed via private message, via email, on the YouTube comments, is how do I level up fast in Nightmare Tide? And today I'm going to share with you basically my very simple tips and tricks to actually leveling fast from level 60 to level 65, and how I'm personally going to get there in under 6 hours. Now, I've done a few practice tests of sort of segments of leveling, and I've managed to pretty much nail level 60 to 62 down in almost under an hour. I am very close to getting that segment down in under an hour, but I believe 63, 64 and 65 are going to be a bit more difficult than that, just because I've totally mastered Gabora Reef. But anyway, when you first log on, a lot of people are going to say, you know, how do I get to the Nightmare Tide content? How does it all work? It's very simple. Talk to any particular master. You'll see plane of water. It'll come up like this, and then you should be able to port to Luminous Passage. So you just want to port there, and that is where your journey in Rift Nightmare Tide will begin. And I'm going to talk you through the map a bit now, and tell you a few things to speed it up. Okay, so in Rift there are basically 3 different multipliers you can get on your XP. So actually, when I say 3, I really mean 4. So via patron status, you can get a solid 40% increase to all your experience. Via experience vials, which I have none on me at the moment, which is absolutely brilliant for this video. But basically, if you go into the Rift store, go to boosts, and then you'll see transcendent experience vials. That's an additional 160%, which stacks with the 40%. A lot of people should have quite a few of these vials lying around from various promotional events, especially if you've been playing Rift for a while. If not, and you kind of want to get ahead of the curve, they are a really good investment. Literally, they will make your life in Nightmare Tide an absolute breeze. And if you follow this, you should be able to squeeze out level 1 to level 63 in just one of these vials. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna upload a video later of me getting to 60 to 62 in just over an hour, and I cock up loads. It's absolutely brilliant. You guys are gonna love it. But anyway, so you got the 40% from Patreon, you got the 160% from the experience vial. So boom, add that together. That's 200% additional XP every time. You're supposed to get like, I don't know, 100,000 experience. Instead, you'll get 300,000, which is even more awesome. Then you have what if you have played the game for quite a while, you'll have various loyalty bonuses, such as I have Treasure Map, which gives me an additional 10% XP on top of that. So I am getting 210% additional XP, and that's probably the modifier that I'm going to go with the level, because I really CBA with the last thing, which is essentially item bonuses. Now I'm going to see if I can find anything on the store about it. Let me just open my bank, see if I've got anything. But essentially, there are various items which people may have collected from troves. I know when the expansion launches, there's going to be a 2 set of really bad earrings available to buy from the Rift store, and those will give you an additional 10% XP. In my opinion, they are a waste of credits, and they're not really worth buying. And it's going to be kind of like such a small difference just for that 10% that really it should just be ignored for most people. But just bear in mind that there are little bits of gear here and there that mainly drop from like budgie troves and stuff, that can be like put together with a 2 set to give you 10% additional experience, but I really don't think this is needed. So basically, when you enter Nightmare Tide anyway, we're going to talk about the kind of pattern that I'm going to take. This is with 210% additional experience. So as you can imagine, my journey is going to go quite a bit faster than a normal person's would. And I'm going to give you a bit of advice at the end if you're not using experience vials, how to level fast. But bearing in mind that this video and my routes etc are mainly catered towards people that are using experience vials. So yeah, you just want to keep that in mind. So you want to start off in Luminous Passage. Now if you have both of the XP vials rolling, all you want to do is follow story quests. There are going to be tons of optional quests thrown your way. There are going to be tons of Carnage quests thrown your way. But all you really want to do is focus on the story quest. Now, there is only one time you want to do a Carnage quest, and that is if it directly ties in with the story. So, for example, you know, if you have to kill like 5 priests and collect their orbs and use it to like, I don't know, banish some guy, and the Carnage quest, when you start killing them, requires you to kill 6, then kill an additional 1, get some free experience. You just kind of have to think on your feet for that. And also, there are certain quests such as where you have to defend X or Y objective. And those quests for especially kind of players who know their specs and rotations are a bit slow. So while you're doing those quests, you pull additional nearby mobs that maybe have a Carnage on. And in kind of my speed run to level 62 video, you will see like tons of examples of me doing this. Maybe when there's a bit of role playing going on, maybe when the objective is going a bit slow. Basically stuff that is outside of my control. Also, one thing I want to kind of point out is there are various elite mobs scattered throughout the zones, which you kind of will run into. If you ever see an elite mob, target it. They generally have literally double the health of a normal mob, and if you kill them, they will instantly give you a fat chunk of XP, and then an additional fat chunk of XP for killing them, because they trigger a Carnage quest just for killing one of them, and that's absolutely wonderful, and will give you, you know, a nice bit of bonus XP here and there. But, you know, you have to think fast, you have to think on your feet. Is it going to be worth my time killing them? And generally speaking it is. I mean, kind of around this area there is a giant flame griffin, or quite a few of them wandering around. You kill one of them, you get a large chunk of XP. So basically your adventure is going to begin in Luminous Passage. You're going to have some quests which require you going up and down all around this area. Basically, as soon as you see the objective is triggered, move on to the next objective. There is going to be a lot of that in Nightmare Tide. There's going to be a lot of role-playing. You know, if you want to slow down and enjoy that, by all means do. By all means do that. You know, I don't want to ruin the experience for you, but this is for, you know, people on my kind of mentality that have already done this, or maybe just want to learn how to speed things up so they can get to endgame and hang out with their buddies and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you start in Luminous Passage, you kind of work your way down this, the Moon River Breach. There are a few story quests here and there. There are going to be some really, really long role-playing quests around sort of Skelfmire, where you get to kind of talk to Drom and stuff, but there's a button you can press, a little reactive that will come up, so you can skip that, and it's really good if you literally want to save about 10 minutes of time, that you press that button as soon as you see it, because that is going to save you literally a lot of time. But for people who maybe haven't seen that roleplay cutscene, it is very, very awesome, so I suggest doing it. And then you're really going to go around the zone, down into the Agarian Well. There are going to be quite a few quests around the area. You're going to kind of go below the Agarian Well, so there's a variety of underwater caverns below Gorbora Reef. Do a variety of quests here, hatching Skelf. Now, one of the things that I definitely suggest doing as well is there is going to be, once you start getting to the Agarian Well, there are going to be quests that send you a bit out of the way of the point and then back to the checkpoint. So, for example, you know, the quest starts at my waypoint and the objective is somewhere like, I don't know, underground over here. This is where you really kind of want a Bravanic Portal generator and also Bravanic Portal batteries. Both of these can be purchased from the store. But I suggest most people have tons of Bravanic Portal batteries. Literally, they drop like candy from those daily patron gifts you get. So a lot of people just have a ton of them. So generally speaking, a rule of thumb is if you are more than 30 seconds away from traveling back to sort of the quest hub, what you want to do is click a Bravanic Portal battery and then just port back there, and that's the kind of, you know, piece of advice that I roll with. But anyway, we're going to kind of speed this up and just give you a brief overview of how the zone runs. So you go to the Agarian Well, blah blah blah, you meet some Skelf, fight some people in the Grotto of Horror, go through Salt Shallows, go down to the Grove of Sea, lots of quests back and forth of the Temple of Ranri even, yeah, so you go back and forth a lot here. Bravatic portal batteries are just awesome to pop there. They will save you a ton of time. And then you kind of go up northern to the zone and then fight Lady Glacier and Gale Fortress. Quite a lot of quests around there. You get introduced to Gas Station Mem, and then it nicely transitions kind of into this section of Dromheim here. Now, I believe what you can do once you get to about level 63, which if you have the vials, is going to be shortly after you enter Dromheim. And this is what I'm probably going to do. I like Dromheim as a zone. It's a very cool looking zone, but literally the middle of it, as you can see with all the streets and stuff, is a giant maze. A maze that I simply do not have time to navigate. So once I'm done with Dromheim and, you know, I've gotten kind of to the entrance of the city, I'm probably going to try and push into Tarkin Glacier and get the quest a level early. I believe you can get them at 63. I will later confirm that in the description of this video. But as far as I'm aware, you should theoretically speaking, be able to start Tarkin Glacier at level 63. And then you can kind of go around the zone, do all the quests there. They'll give a much higher reward than Dromheim, and I find Tarkin Glacier a much more pleasant and straightforward zone to quest in. And also it's going to give you a bit of a advantage in terms of the general population, because they're going to be, you know, oh, like Dromheim, it's a big city, let's go explore. So yeah, you can get the kind of jump on them there and get to hopefully 65 as fast as humanly possible. So that's pretty damn cool. Although for people that haven't done Dromheim, the end quests to it are just amazingly epic. You can go back and do them at some time, or maybe on a different character. But yeah, I definitely, I wouldn't knock the quest. I'd just say that I've lost a lot of time in Dromheim just because I'm terrible at navigating the really complicated city, and there are loads of quests that involve you kind of roaming all around the place there. So that's just my personal bit of advice. And then Tarkin Glacier is fairly easy. You start the quest in Tarkin Ascent. You can either go to the right of the zone towards kind of the Port Scudra, or you can go to the left of the zone via on Gas Station 2. There are tons of quests around there, and they kind of both kind of join up in the northern area of the zone. But what I probably suggest doing is going right, doing the Port Scudra quests, and then doing the Gas Station 2 ones, and then heading to the northern zone around Octus Monastery, which has kind of a ton of quests there, and that'll kind of hopefully finish you off and you'll be level 65 by the time you reach there. So that is just my basic bit of advice for leveling in Nightmare Tide. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have absolutely any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them. I believe this entire run can be done in about 4 to 5 hours for most people. You know, that is, I'm aiming for just under 4 hours, but we're gonna have to see how that goes on the launch of Nightmare Tide. When Nightmare Tide launches, I am going to be streaming on twitch.tv/Seatin Man of Legends. I'm going to be streaming my entire leveling experience and answering questions while doing so, so this is probably going to slow me down a bit, but if you get stuck at all while leveling, feel free to hop onto the stream. I will happily, you know, maybe talk you through a quest, or, you know, give you a bit of guidance on where to go, etc. But yeah, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Take care and have an absolutely great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for the launch of Rift Nightmare Tide.